The snow fell harder than usual that morning in Pine Hollow, a quiet mountain town where everyone knew each other, but few ever truly saw one another. And that's where it all began, with a woman standing outside a diner in the biting cold, clutching her son's hand and whispering a question that would change both their lives forever. "Can you pretend to be my son's father?" she asked, her voice trembling, not from the cold but from desperation. The man she asked, a broad-shouldered lumberjack named Cole Dawson, had just stepped out of the diner, his plaid shirt dusted with snow and his eyes carrying the kind of loneliness that comes from losing too much. He didn't know her name, he didn't know her story, but something in her tone, something behind those tired eyes, made him stop in his tracks. Cole had moved to Pine Hollow 5 years ago after his wife and unborn daughter died in a car accident. The mountains were supposed to help him forget, to bury his grief under layers of work and silence. Every day he cut wood, worked the mill, and came home to a cabin that echoed with emptiness. He had grown used to solitude, to the sound of wind instead of laughter, to coffee for one, to sleeping on one side of the bed. But that morning, when he saw the woman, her hair damp from melting snow, her boy hiding behind her coat, staring up with wide, scared eyes, something broke through the walls he'd built around himself. "I'm sorry," he said, hesitating. "Did you just ask me to—" "Yes," she interrupted quickly, looking over her shoulder as if afraid of being seen. "Just for a few minutes, please. My son's teacher wants to meet his father, and—" Her voice cracked. "He doesn't have one." Cole froze. The little boy peeked from behind her and tugged at her coat. "Mom, it's okay. We don't need—" "Yes, we do," she whispered, her lips trembling. "We do, Adam." Cole looked at them, the mother holding herself together by threads, the boy too young to carry such pain. And before his mind could argue, his heart had already answered. "All right," he said softly. "I'll do it." The meeting lasted 20 minutes. Cole said little, mostly nodding while the teacher talked about Adam's progress. But when she mentioned how children need both parents involved, the mother, her name was Elena, he finally learned, looked down at her hands. Afterward, outside the school, she thanked him, fumbling for words. "I didn't mean to drag you into this. I didn't know what else to do." Cole shrugged, trying to play it off, though something in his chest felt strange, like warmth he hadn't felt in years. "It's fine. I've been called worse things than Dad." She smiled faintly for the first time. "You were good in there. Really good." He looked down at Adam. "You've got a brave mom, kid." Adam nodded shyly. "You talk like the guys from the mountain." Cole chuckled. "That's because I am one. That was supposed to be the end of it. Just a favor for a stranger." But fate, or maybe something greater, had other plans. The next day, Cole saw them again. Their car had broken down near the lumber yard. He offered them a ride home, and that turned into coffee. Coffee turned into dinner, and dinner slowly turned into something like family. Elena worked double shifts at the diner. Her husband had died 2 years ago in a construction accident, leaving her with debts and a son who still cried for his father at night. She didn't tell Cole that right away. He found out one evening when Adam asked him, "Do you think my dad can see us from heaven?" Cole had no words. He just nodded, his eyes burning, because he knew what it was like to talk to ghosts. Over the months, their worlds began to knit together, quietly, naturally. Cole fixed their roof. Elena cooked for him sometimes. Adam followed him everywhere, calling him Mr. Cole, until one morning he slipped and said, "Dad." That word hit harder than any axe swing. Cole froze. Elena heard it too. Their eyes met, hers full of apology, his full of something he didn't dare name. He wanted to correct the boy, to remind him of reality. But when Adam's tiny hand reached for his, something inside Cole whispered, "Don't." And so he didn't. It all changed the day Elena got sick. She'd been coughing for weeks, too stubborn to rest. One night she fainted at the diner. The doctor said pneumonia, the kind that needed hospital care she couldn't afford. Cole didn't hesitate. He paid the bill before she even woke up. When she did, she cried. "You can't keep doing this. You've already done too much." He sat beside her bed, voice low. "You asked me to pretend to be your son's father. I said yes, but somewhere along the way, I stopped pretending." Tears filled her eyes. "Cole, let me be here," he said, "for both of you." Winter turned to spring. Elena recovered slowly, and life began to look brighter. The small town noticed the way Cole, Elena, and Adam walked together now, like they'd always belonged. One Sunday afternoon, Adam was playing by the lake when he called out, "Dad, Look, and caught a fish. Cole laughed, ruffled his hair, and for the first time in years, he didn't feel hollow inside. Later, as the sunset painted the sky gold, Elena turned to him and said, "You've given us more than I ever asked for." He smiled quietly. "You gave me something too, a reason to come home." Months later, on the anniversary of his wife's death, Cole visited the cemetery for the first time in years. He placed flowers on her grave and whispered, "I found them, the family you told me to keep my heart open for." He walked away lighter than he'd come. When he returned home, Adam ran to him, holding up a crayon drawing, 3 stick figures holding hands beneath a bright yellow sun. "See, Dad? That's us." Cole crouched down, tears glinting in his eyes. "Yeah, buddy," he said, voice breaking. "That's us." And as Elena stood at the porch watching them, the widow who once begged a stranger to pretend, and the lumberjack who'd forgotten how to live, they both realized something simple yet powerful. Sometimes, love doesn't begin with a spark. Sometimes, it begins with a question whispered in the snow and a lonely man who says yes.